All right, we're live. Hello, everyone. And I've got a special guest. As you guys know, I've been going live a few times this week. I'm bringing a lot of my successful FAST40 patients and clients into the live space with me because we've got a webinar happening next Tuesday, and I want to do this as a promotion. But I want to bring some of these amazing women on because so many women think that fat has to come with age and disease come with age, and they think that because their doctor told them that. So I want to introduce you guys to Nicole. Hello, Nicole. Thanks for being here.
Hi. Hi.
And Nicole is on, I think, day 45 or 6 or something. I can't remember exactly which one it is.
Yeah.
But I want to get I want to get your real experience. Nicole, could you just tell me, before joining the FAST40 program, what did you do to try to lose weight?
I did everything until I quit all of it. I did back in the day, Weight Watchers a long time ago, keto, paleo. I even did a program that was all meat except for like you drink some fiber in the morning. Um, I've tried everything. And then finally, I'd say about 5 years ago, I just quit. I decided I'm working this hard to not lose any weight, just stay the same, and I'm just done. Yeah.
And thanks for sharing that, because this is the story that so many, I hope this helps people watching this. So many, if you're a woman, even a man watching this, listen to what she just said. I've done Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, paleo, keto. This is the story. And then what happens is, I want to say to first of all, is those diets were never meant for permanent weight loss and health. So it's the first thing I want people to understand is those diets do not work for long-term health. So Nicole, just like if someone watching this has gone through this, Nicole wasn't not successful. The programs were never intended to be successful. So it's important you hear that, Nicole.
Yeah.
That it like you were doing things that were told that were going to work, but there's a few principles in there that they just don't, because diets don't work. You cannot starve yourself to healthy. That's what I figured out a long time ago. And with the new craze of Ozempic and Wegovy and the weight loss injections, it's literally the same freaking thing. It is caloric deficit starvation with a chemical. It is no different. People are just being brainwashed. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move into then. And I want to acknowledge you kind of like just gave up. I think that's where a lot of people are, is just give up. When you give up, what did you do when you gave up? You did it for 5 years. What did you do to give up? You just eat whatever you want. What do you do?
Pretty much. I just ate whatever I wanted.
And what
And
happened? What happened when you did that?
well, I did gain some weight. I probably gained about maybe 10 to 15 pounds, and then I stayed there. And so I thought, oh, well, this is pretty good. I can eat anything I want, and I'm there. I'm not gaining anymore. And I felt like I can still work in my garden. I can still go on hikes. I can still do whatever I want to do. I know I don't look exactly like I want to look, but I can live with this. And I'm not just putting myself through the torture of constantly struggling through this anymore. So I felt like I was okay. I thought I was in a good place.
Yeah. And so let's look at that. You thought you're in a good place. I'm not how I want to look. I feel terrible about my body. I'm in a pretty good place.
Yeah.
And this is a common thought process. What else are you going to do, Nicole? Our medical system says, hey, this is just normal. I literally have a woman I was just on the phone with who is 75 pounds, overweight. And she went to have all her lab work done, and all the lab work came out beautiful. And they said, you are healthy.
Yeah.
75 pounds on you, and to say that you're healthy, she was so angry. This is our healthcare system. What a ridiculous thing. So, Nicole, let's talk about, you came into the FAST40. What's been the results in 40 something days?
Well, I have to tell you before I do. I have to tell you how I ended up coming into it was because I do want to share this. You've told me I didn't have to if I want to, but I fell. I fell. And then the injury wasn't healing, and it was just this ongoing, like, long process. And I was losing my strength, and I realized, oh, this has all been contingent on me being able to do whatever I want to do. I want to hike, I want to work in my garden, but now I've been sedentary for so long. How am I ever going to get my strength back when I'm carrying around what I told you was the equivalent of one of my 50-pound bags of chicken food that I would put over my shoulder and I'd carry out to my chicken house? And it was getting so hard to carry that. And I realized, but that's what I'm carrying every day. So yeah, then I said, okay, I'm going to give you a chance. And I told you straight from the beginning, I was very skeptical. I've tried so many things. I if I hadn't seen it, I had seen it. So I knew it was working for some people. But I just thought, this is on you. You figure it out. You make my body do what it's supposed to do, because I clearly can't, and I haven't done that all these years. And so,
Yeah.
so yeah, it started right away. Right away, it started working.
So really what you're saying is you really gave up hope on self and hope on that it was even ever going to happen.
Yeah,
And this is a very, I want to really say that because this is a very common thing that people come to me and they are like, not skeptical, is like they're beyond skeptical. It's like, no, there's no
yeah,
way it's even going to work. And
yeah,
there's many reasons why. It's because what you were told was false, but it never was going to work. Paleo never works. Keto doesn't work. And I don't care how many people go, well, it works for other people. It doesn't, guys. Listen to this. It doesn't. The people you're seeing, you're watching on these commercials. This is what I think people are referencing as commercials, Ozempic, Wegovy. And you go, oh, yeah, I saw my friend lost weight. But did you wait for them to get off it? We have people now that are on Ozempic and Wegovy for 2 years straight and now are concerned because what's going to happen when you get off it?
yeah,
You go right back to where you were. Like what, so it's frustrating. So I want to
yeah.
acknowledge you getting dropped and going, man, I was carrying that 50-pound feed. And I want to say this too. What's the impact of 50 pounds on your body and your joints, on your health? Like, what was the impact for you?
Well, the impact, I think, was that I was, well, as I mentioned, I fell, but I kept falling. That was my second big fall. I'd sprained my ankle maybe a month before that. And then after that big fall, I fell 3 more times. And I'm 52 years old. I'm like, this is not okay.
Yes.
I'm not ready for that. And so, yeah, just I was not up to standard. I did not have my strength. I was getting by, but I wasn't really strong and able to do the things I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big. And having that extra weight on then falling creates more injury. And so, and then what's interesting is extra fat causes your immune system to work very poorly. So then you don't heal as well from injuries, which you got to experience
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
right. So and this is the ridiculousness of someone going to the doctor and, oh, your blood pressure's fine, and being told that's fine. And so I'm so glad to see this. So then, okay, so now we fast forward. You decide I'm going to do this. You saw many other women that it was working for.
Yeah.
And what's the results? What's happened?
I've been so successful so far. It's so exciting. I mean, and really against all odds, because I maybe shouldn't have been as successful, but at this point, I've lost 20 pounds. I feel like it's been very consistently coming off, so I have no fear about continuing to lose the rest of the weight that I need to lose. I came to you and I said, I I'd be okay with like 10 or 15 pounds. Like I was hedging my bets, right? And then once I saw how successful I could be and how easy it was to do, I was like, let's just go all the way. I'm ready. I'm going to do this. It's better to do it now at my age, which is still rough. Like 52, my skin's going to take longer to get back together, but it's going to be a lot better than doing it at 70. So, and I think of my age at 50 years old, my kids are all graduated. I'm ready to go. There are things I want to do. And this has kind of paved the way for me to have confidence in myself that I can build up the strength and get the weight off and be healthy enough to do everything in this section of my life that I want to do.
Wow. 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And let's remind people that's within like about 45 days. And I
Yeah.
think it was about 15, it might be even more inches now, around 14, 15 inches off. What have you noticed about, so when the weight comes off, what have you noticed about yourself, health wise, mentally, emotionally?
Yeah, there's been some big things. Well, some really just annoying things, like I had started to snore and I was waking myself up with that, and that's gone. I couldn't sleep on my right side because I would get heartburn so bad. Well, this wound I have is on my left side, and I have to sleep on my right side. And so that would have just been horrible, but I can do that now. I can sleep on my back and not snore. So there's, I mean, obviously there's the aesthetic things. I feel like I look better. I'm wearing clothes that I had boxed up and put away, thinking this will never happen again. And so that's great. But more than that, I'm just starting to chomp at a bit at like getting strong again and like really being able to do what I want to do. Yeah.
Jeez, those are huge things. Those are huge things. And even really feel, I was just going to ask you because what I love tapping into the emotions with people, because in our society, we avoid feelings, and that's what we do. What emotions have come up as you're dropping this weight off?
Yeah, there's been a lot actually because all of those years of trying to lose weight and doing weird things, just to put it plainly, I watched my teenagers start to do weird things and start restricting to a point that wasn't healthy, and I was that was part of why I quit. And then I watched my mom at 72, 70 years old lose weight for the first time in her life and go too far to the point where she became anorexic and passed
Mm-hmm.
away from it. So,
Do you know
so
what do you know what she was doing to lose the weight? What was she actually doing?
she was doing well. She was doing a program that was like carbs on one day and fat on a different meal, so that never carbs and fat in the same. But in the end, she just began to starve herself, and she was doing things, taking pills and stuff that would help her reduce her appetite so that she could eat less. And
Yeah.
it just, I think at some point you lose control of that. When you go down that road too far, you cannot turn yourself around and come back. And that's what happened with her. And she just lost too much and she couldn't come back. And so she yesterday was her third anniversary of her being gone from our lives, because of this. And so that was part of the reason where I was like, this has to stop. This is crazy. I'm watching my mom pass away. My kids are doing the same thing. I mean, I've got chill bumps thinking about it, but we can't be like this. We can't be harming ourselves over aesthetics. And so there was a lot of emotions. I came into this like I've got, well, I had met you several times and was like, no, no, I'm not, like, I am totally resistant to anything related to this, for that emotional reason. And so I had a lot of baggage to work through as we did this. Yeah. But the fact that I am never hungry because I am feeding my body thoroughly every day, really sustains me and makes me feel confident in this program, where I don't feel like, oh, I'm being dangerous or I'm setting a bad example. The example I'm setting is that I'm feeding myself well and it's working. So,
I love to hear that. That's what I was going to ask you actually next was, what did you do? Tell everyone, what did you do to lose this weight? Because your mom, that's what's important is, I want to say this to people is, if you lose weight by caloric deficit, you're going to cause psychological issues for yourself. Let's go as far as to say that, because
yeah.
you cannot starve yourself to healthy. It has not worked for anyone in the history of mankind. it only causes survival mechanisms to be bred. And matter of fact, it causes the exact opposite. When you starve yourself, when you don't eat enough, you trigger fat storage, which makes it, because it makes it worse. Then what you got to do is make sure you eat even more, even less. But when you eat even less, it will trigger, for your mom to understand this, it'll trigger the seeking of sugar. Caloric deficit diets trigger seeking of sugar, which makes you judge yourself even more. Oh my God, I have these sugar cravings. It's that no one is telling people the truth. And I don't have, there's not one weight loss program that tells people the truth. And I'm serious when I say this, because it's all based on robbing yourself of what you need. And there, without a hormone reset, diets do not work. You're starving yourself. So what have you done, Nicole, to lose? You're saying 20 pounds. What did you do to lose the weight? You're saying you're full. You didn't starve yourself.
I ate more food than a person can jump over.
Really?
I mean, honestly, I have, a pretty stressful job. I have kids that are young adults. That should be easier than having toddlers. It is not. I have a full life, and I, so there's some level of stress just in my general life, I guess. And so, yeah, I ended up having to eat quite a bit of food that sometimes I'm like, just settle in. This is going to take half an hour to eat all this. But but then afterwards, after I eat a meal, I'm satisfied. I am not having cravings. I am not hungry. And oh, here's another thing. I ate every meal that I was supposed to eat. I was not, so before I would work through lunch and I'd be starving, and maybe I would grab something, maybe I wouldn't. And so I really was starving myself because I was too busy to eat, and I don't do that at all on this program. I have a timer set for lunch and dinner, and I eat what I'm supposed to eat.
Yeah, God. That is, I mean, I hope people are really listening to this, because I think sometimes when I say this, these kind of things, people it just goes over their head. Like, you're literally eating more 20 pounds lighter than you were when you had 20 pounds. I don't think that registers in someone's brain.
Yeah.
This is why we have sustainable weight loss, because you cannot starve yourself long term. It has never worked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
No one, not one program, Ozempic, Wegovy, all of it's doing the opposite. It's not teaching you to eat more. Those injections are literally triggering lack of blood supply to your intestine. And so then your body goes, oh, I'm not hungry. So all you're doing is chemically doing the exact same thing. If you just starve yourself, you just don't know you're doing it. So now you're just unknowingly starving yourself. Right. And imagine the watch what happens, the psychological effects for people that are doing this and then getting off it. I have women that are just so terrified to get off it. And the doctor said, don't, just keep taking it. And, what's the long-term effect of altering your hunger mechanism, of slowing blood supply? It's called ischemic bowel. Your intestines need blood supply. So when you start slowing it, you're completely disconnected from your body. I mean, oh my gosh. And Nicole, if you look at you right now, we got you more connected with your body, not less.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Like, I know when well, first of all, because I'm eating at regular times, I am hungry when it's time to be hungry. And then I'm feeding myself, and I'm not, like, for me, I don't want food to rule my life. I have a life. I have a job. I have important things I'm doing, and I don't want that. And with this, it doesn't have to. It really, I make my meals in advance. I have everything prepped out, and I eat when it's time to eat. And it's, so I just really appreciate it, because how well was my brain working before when I was skipping lunch because I was trying to work harder? Really, I wasn't really working harder. At least I wasn't. Maybe I was working harder. I wasn't working smarter.
Right. It is so hard to starve yourself. And then it's like, the people that come to me, I have people that are eating once a day, and they're 70 pounds, 75 pounds overweight. And what they're once a day is doing is maintaining the 75 pounds. Like you were saying, well, at least I can maintain it and stay here. But it's like saying, I'm just maintaining this incredibly unhealthy body. Like, that there is no maintenance of an unhealthy body. There's only a regression of unhealthy body when we fall or we have an injury or there's arthritic conditions. COVID, the main population that got COVID bad was the ones that had excess fat. And no one wants to say it. Everyone wants to blame the age. There were millions of 70, 80, 90-year-olds that did not get sick. They got regular sick than everyone else. It's when you have excess fat, just even 10 pounds of that. So in COVID, I started watching, and I'm just saying this, Nicole, I started watching this thing happen at Target and Victoria's Secret, where the mannequins started becoming plus size. And if you notice that, no one's talking about it, but this was a movement to love your body. And I go, isn't that beautiful to love your body? Yeah. But if you love your fat, you're going to die soon. This wasn't about loving your fat. Let's not love the unhealthy. Let's love ourselves. And the loving of self goes, does this feel good to feel like this in my body? Do I feel, enthusiastic in my body? Do I feel heavy? Do I feel light? Like, let's not override. So I think part of this is, I want people to really get real with themselves. And I was overweight a period of my life, which is why I finally faced this and was like, this feels terrible. And I worked out, I dieted, I could not get the weight off. And it just freaking sucked. And that's the truth of it. And to see you feel light and energized and happy, what do you think is the impact in your life and the things that matter to you most of having 20 pounds off you? What do you think is the impact?
Oh, it's pretty big. I mean, for one thing, I mean, not to make too much drama of it, but I still have the wound that I had, and it is healing well now.
Yeah.
But I can remember a day, I mentioned it to you back in the day, where the wound care doctor walked in the room and looked at it and said, I think it'll heal, and turned around and walked out of the room. And I thought, what's the freaking alternative here? Like, it better heal. But really, I wasn't doing anything before that was going to help my body to heal. And now I am. And so, and I have seen in the last month, massive improvement. Everybody wanted to know, are you diabetic? Do you smoke? They were trying to figure out where was the problem? Like, where was my health failing me? And I didn't have any of those things. So that's massive. I mean, I'm still going around with a wrapped leg and stuff, but is the light at the end of the tunnel on that is close. And so that's huge.
That is really big. And can we just be real? We go, what was it? Do you smoke? Do you diabetic? What's really funny about it is what leads to diabetic conditions is the excess fat not being processed in the body. Like, so you go, what was it? Mate, what could I think? What could be depressing my immune system? I cannot figure it out. Like, it is truly that. It's the excess weight I'm carrying. And for some reason, it's become normal in this country. 75% of Americans, which means 3/4 of us, are overweight. And I was too. Sugar has been dumped into your food. You've been taught not to feel stress and keep putting a smiley face on. And it's a disaster for an unhealthy system. There's no other way to put it. We can even go as far as to say it's not our fault because sugar was dumped into our food as a kid. Nicole, as a kid, sugar was dumped into you. You were being bred to be a sugar burner a long time ago. So was I.
Yeah.
So it's interesting from that angle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The excess fat, it creates this it's almost like this low grade inflammation. It weakens the white blood cells. You're not as adaptable. There's so many pieces that people don't know. Your microbiome shift. Right now your microbiome are going a little crazy because they haven't been getting sugar, and they're starting to change over, which means your whole system is going to work better too. The list goes on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and also I said I as long as I can hike and work in my garden, but I always limited myself. Like, if we went on vacation, I was like, well, how long is that hike? I can do 3 miles. 3 miles is good. And now I'm like, Oh, wow. I can't wait to take my first like 10-mile hike, or
Yeah.
do we have any like overnighters we could do? You know, like so that's just, I know that I'm not doing those things yet because just walking on my leg is enough for right now, you know, just around the house. I can't really even walk, but I know those things are going to be possible for me because of what I'm doing, and I'm super
Wow.
excited about it.
Wow. That was a great testimony there, Nicole. So can I ask you, Nicole, what would you, we'll close this out. What would you say to someone who's watching this, who was where you were, what, 50 days ago, and going, I've given up. Matter of fact, I see that what he's doing is working with other women, but I'm not going to do it because that can't work for me. What would you tell them?
I would say take a chance, because what I know is it will work. If it works for me, I think it'll work for anybody, anybody. But it does work, and it's not painful. There's nothing about it that is a stress to your system, um, you know, hard to do. It's actually been easy to do and comfortable to do, and it does work. So I would say take a chance, and also maybe even beyond take a chance, like a lot of people have spent a lot of money on all of these systems and they have not worked for them, and so that could be the fear. But when you think about how much money people are spending on some of these programs, and on like monthly shot or weekly shots and things like that, this is something that is, I'm watching some of the people who are on these drugs in my family and in my life. I'm losing fat way faster than they are. They've been on it for 9 months. I've been doing this for 40 days and I've already caught up to them. So just,
Damn.
yeah. So
Damn.
take a chance on yourself, you know, just give it a try.
That was big right there. That was bigger, but that's wild to see that, right?
It's so
And
true though. Yeah.
and probably even more important than that is when they are done, when are they done taking the drugs? What's going to happen after to those 20 pounds? That's what I
Yeah.
think is an important piece because they have not learned how to eat right. They've actually learned not to eat, is what they've learned.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's wild. Nicole, thanks for being on here. I so appreciate it. Anything else you want to say?
No, just to thank you. I appreciate you because you really, you know, you didn't push, but you didn't give up on me either. When, you know, when we first met, I was like, you could just take it and go, you know, and you hung in there and were ready when I was ready. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the coaching and walking me through this, because everybody told me he'll change your life. And I'm like, it's a diet program. What are you talking about? And now I can truly say with all of my heart, it will change your life.
Oh, that's so cool. That's right. Right. Diets don't work, but yeah, it's the life transformation system is what it is, disguised as
Yeah.
weight loss. That just happens to
Yes,
happen.
exactly.
Oh man,
uh,
thanks so much for saying that. That's really cool. Okay, thanks for being on. We'll close out this stream.